Hey guys, John the Sports Dad here on the Grumpy Sports Dad Talk Show, and we have quite a few very good quarterbacks coming out in this draft, or at least appear to be very good quarterbacks. We know it's a gamble. But there's one in particular that is not being talked about, and there's a very obvious reason why. He tore his ACL his senior year, and his name is Hendon Hooker. And as I'm looking more into this, I'm wondering if this kid is the best quarterback in this draft. And so, listen, bear with me here. So, Hendon Hooker he was a 5-year college student. So he redshirted his first year, a 2-year senior. He started his college career in Virginia Tech, and then he moved to Tennessee, which, as we know, Tennessee is an SEC team. And like I said, he tore his ACL his senior year, so he did not get to work out in the combine. He is currently injured. He is expected to be ready by NFL's start to the season, but we're not really hearing him being spoken about. And listen to this. So his senior year, in the 10 or 11 games he did play in, he threw for 3,185 yards, had 27 touchdowns, and only 2 interceptions. In the entirety of his college career, he only threw 12 interceptions. He had a career rating in college of 176 quarterback rating, efficiency rating, I know they do it a little bit different than the NFL. And of the 4 top prospected quarterbacks coming out in this draft, he played 3 of them. And guess what he did when he played 3 of them? He beat all 3 of them. And so I know that a lot of people always want to look at the teams and just like stats is something that's hard to overlook, okay? But I'm looking at one thing. I'm looking at efficiency here, okay? So listen. So bear with me again. So when he played Anthony Richardson, he completed 78.6% of his passes. They both threw for 2 touchdowns. Richardson in that game only had 54% completion percentage. And he had a quarterback rating in that game of 206.8. Did not throw any picks. And again, he beat Anthony Richardson and the Florida Gators. Now let's fast forward. He plays Will Levis. And in that game, he had 76% completion percentage, 3 touchdowns, and he, again, did not throw a pick. Versus Will Levis, who had 0 touchdowns and 3 picks, and he only completed 59% of his. And like I said, we beat him, and that was a world-class beating. I remember right, it was like 38-6 or 28-31, something like that. It was a very good scoring offensive day for them versus 6 points. And then when he played Bryce Young, he completed 70%. He had virtually 400 yards for 5 touchdowns. He did throw a pick in that game, but go watch it. His receiver tipped the ball, and if he did not tip it, there was no pick. And Bryce Young only had 2 touchdowns and only had 67. So Bryce Young showed out, but they beat Alabama. Alabama has 11 players that are projected to go into the NFL within the first 3 rounds of this upcoming draft. And he beat that team. They have 4 players, 2 of which are not expected, none of which are going to be in the first round, but 2 of which are expected to fall further than the 3rd round. And Alabama has 11 in the first 3 projected. This kid is a very smart. He's 6'4", 220. Runs about a 4.6 to 4.7. We don't know. He's injured. He didn't get to run in the combine. But he's 6'4", 230 or 220, and he's highly intelligent. And I think, in particular, for the Seahawks, whom I really want to see us take this kid in and let him sit under Geno, let him heal that knee up properly, give him the time he needs. But the Jets the Seahawks, the Niners, the Rams. Who else is going to be possibly in the Panthers? No, not the Panthers, because they're going to be number one. But there is quite a few teams that I am and would be highly interested in this kid if I was them. If I was their GM, I would be very interested in the event that you're coming up on the last year to the last 2 years of your quarterback's why am I drawing a blank? Their what they signed, their deal. And if they're coming up on the end of that, and you can give this kid the time to heal, learn your system, this kid could be a franchise quarterback. I know that he's had a little bit, but this is a little bit of injury issues, but it's different now. Okay? Kids come back stronger. Their knee comes back stronger in this day and age than it did before they left. And I'm not gonna lie to you, this kid's numbers and the decision making that he exemplifies, intermixed with legitimate passing numbers, 385 passing yards with 5 touchdowns. That is not just being a game manager. That is being a playmaker and being a good playmaker. And not to mention the fact that the only pick he got in that game it was, but it very well could have not been. And outside of that, he was not putting the ball in harm's way against the Alabama defense. And so I'm really, really stoked. I'm really high on this kid. I really want to see my Seattle Seahawks pick him up in the second round. He's probably going to be available in the second round. And just pick him up with that second round pick. Let's polish this kid up. Let's get him learn. He came out of a very similar system to the Seahawks system. And I genuinely believe that this kid's going to be a winner. And he might actually be the best player, best quarterback in this draft. It might be Hendon Hooker. All right, so Hendon Hooker, if you're listening to this, we see you. I see you. I'm impressed by you. I like you. I like your game. You are a very good player. Get that knee healed up. Get ready for the league. Be teachable. And let's get it, man. I want to see this kid come in and rock and just show off on all these other kids. He beat the 3 kids, all 3, batting 1,000. He just didn't play C.J. Stroud. But he beat the other 3, all 3. 3-0. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Again, this is John with the Grumpy Sports Dad Talk Show. Remember to give me a like and subscribe, maybe some comments, maybe some shares. All right, let me know what you guys think because I'm really high. I genuinely want to know what you think about this kid. All right. Peace out.